Hey, y'all, and welcome to day 32 of the third annual WSOP Spaces daily coverage, the longest running poker space. I'm Sherry Pluskota, aka Peaches. I'll be your host today. Some of my co hosts that are joining us thus far are Isimoff and ASG and Karen Chess. And I guess we got to sort of make maybe Dana an honorary one since she's been with us most of the summer as well. So, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday indeed. You there, ASG? He may be working hard.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Good morning. Hey, Karen.
Morning, guys.
And I see D Man's joining us as well. Good morning. And anybody I can't see that's in Never Never Land, good morning to you as well. Um, I'm a little bit weary this morning. Hopefully, we'll hit the ground running and the brain will kick in. No coffee yet. So, a little bit slow, but it's going to be okay. Many thanks to my sponsor, Elevator Results. If you need a tailor made workout plan to help you lose weight or gain weight, Elevator Results can design that plan. Follow them on Twitter or check them out on their website at elevatorresultspt.com. Be reminded you can find the recordings of all my past spaces, or at least 99.9% of them, on my YouTube channel at Sherry Pluskota 9212. Please subscribe. As always, be reminded that we try to give out the most accurate and updated information possible, but we are human and make mistakes. So if you find that we've made a mistake, let us know so we can correct it. We won't be insulted by that correction. Trust us. And when we say we want to get it right, it's important to get it right. So if we make a mistake, please let us know. Just updating everybody on a couple of things. First of all, Team Spacers. We are 71 out of 873 teams with a point. Let's see, we have 867 points at this point and juncture. I must say, I was a little put off when I saw Andrew Moreno is at the final table at the win instead of being at the WSOP playing because he's on my team and I love Andrew. Am I just kidding around? But I was like, oh, hell no, we need him over here at the WSOP playing. But good luck to Andrew on that final table at the win for sure. So, anybody have any comments about that Team Spacers update?
I mean, besides go us, like that's a hell of an achievement. 71st out of 800 and something, you said?
Pretty cool. Yeah,
Pretty damn cool.
873. So we definitely need some points these last couple of weeks of the WSOP so we can stay up there in that top 100 for sure. It's definitely been a fun sweat this summer. And I'm going to tell you, Ben Lamb right now is in fourth place in a tournament in the, forgive me if I can't remember off the top of
The
my head.
PPC.
Thank you. Um, he's in fourth place. So that's going to be some good points for us. Hopefully, he'll remain in the top four and maybe even win it for us. So we're definitely going to get some points from Ben, which is exciting. To keep us in that top 100, of course. So I see that we've been joined by Exec Deck and Bathwater for buy-ins. Welcome. And to those two anonymous listeners, appreciate you as well. Let's talk about a couple of, let's give some flowers out this morning. First, I want to say congratulations to Kelly Myers, who I met because she was an employee at Harris Cherokee and a tournament director. And she came in fourth place in the Seniors Weekly Deep Stack. It's a $250 buy in, 960 entries for that tournament, and she took home just under $10,000. And I'm going to tell you that the deep stacks and the daily tournaments have taken a life on their own this year. People have seen the value in them. I was talking to Cuz last night, and he was in that seniors deep stack, and he said, Sherry, I paid $250 for this deep stack and I can win 27,000 was number one prize for that tournament. 27,000. He said, and played in one day, or I could play the WSOP for $10,000 main event, play for 5 days and win 30,000. Which do you think I'm going to do? Yeah, it's crazy. The deep stacks have taken a life on their own this year. I played one yesterday and it was chock full of grinders and big names. And I was like, what are they doing here? Because in the past, you would see a couple sprinkled within the audience, so to speak, and, playing. And yeah, they've just taken a life on their own. Go ahead, Isaac.
Yeah, I just want to sing the praises of the daily deep stack and just the dailies from the WSOP. I've loved them since 2023. I think they are definitely some of the best value in Vegas. For sure,
For
for
sure.
sure.
Yep, absolutely. And this year they've gone like crazy. I mean, the numbers have been insane, and the value at the top's insane. So it's going to be interesting to see if the WSOP lets that ride next year, or if they change it because they want those players in the bigger tournaments. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. Plays out for sure. But honestly, the value is definitely in the deep stacks this year for sure. And I wish I was going to be here another Thursday because I definitely would have played that seniors event. But instead, I played the ladies event yesterday. That did not go too well for me. Uh, Unfortunately, I got some bad beats that the second one took me right out of the tournament. And it is what it is. I saw some amazing ladies yesterday. I met some new friends yesterday. Got to see a Spaces favorite, Veronica Brill, yesterday, which is always a delight. Her and I always have lots of laughs and giggles about Spaces and things that have happened or not happened in Spaces and the people. And so it's always a fun conversation because, of course, she's been around Spaces a long time as well. So fun day to see all the ladies, and we'll talk about that ladies event a little bit later as well. Anybody besides me look up that player of the year tournament? I mean, not tournament, player of the year stats. I did look them up this morning. They don't say when they were last updated, so I'm going to give you the top three names, although I don't know if this is as of today, as of yesterday, or as of last week, because as we found out the last time I read them, um, they were old stats. So I'm going to read the top three names in hopes that these are fairly up to date stats. So, Player of the Year contest right now, Benny Glazer is in first place. Of course, he's won 3 bracelets and he has 3,245 points. Scott Bowman is in second place with 3,205 points. And Dylan Lindy is in third place with 2,428 points. So good luck to all of them and anyone else that's in that Player of the Year race. Go ahead, Fats.
Okay, I just wanted to shout out to Alan Kessler, who finished 29th yesterday in the stud, 8 or better.
Nice.
Also, in my self-promoting, I just released the McDonald's tweet today, which has the recording of the 50-minute phone conversation I had with McDonald's corporate yesterday. It's definitely worth a listen. And anybody who's a fan of Kessler and his antics, I did a space with him last night, which was just supposed to be about 15 minutes, and it lasted a lot longer and involved his entire meal at a restaurant, and couldn't have been funnier last night.
Awesome.
So
Awesome. Thank you for.
that's on my thing. I'll put it up in the jumbo if anybody wants to listen to that later. It's a good. That should be a good listen to.
Well, listen, I'm glad you're self promoting, and don't forget to mention my name in your spaces for that self promotion. You can promote me in your spaces, which I know you always do. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
And I wanted to ask you a question because I've been absent the last couple of days of your space. I
Yes.
assume you've all discussed the whole $1 million thing at length.
Oh, we did have a good discussion about that. You should really listen to yesterday's space because we had a lot of different folks in there with lots of different opinions. And it was really a great discussion about the Millie Maker um, debacle, and we're going to talk about it again today because I've been playing at the poker tables. So I don't even know what the update is on it. Have they paid the people out? Last that we heard, or I heard, because I've been busy, is that they
Oh,
haven't paid the winners out. So have they been paid out? Anybody?
they officially have decided yet, but I had just a take on um, two different ways that they could have handled it. That it might the players themselves that I think they could have legitimately gotten away with what they did. And the one option would have been the guy who had the big chip lead when they came back from break. He could have just said, I'm feeling chest pains," and asked for an ambulance and just left.
Well, he just could have just not even come back from break. He could have
Or
just disappeared.
not come back from break, or he could have done something to give himself a penalty and got himself and then argued more and got himself forced out of the tournament.
This is
So,
true.
they could have done that, and then there's nothing they could have done about it
Exactly.
instead of the way they did it. So that was just my take on it. But and I thought that the what I think, as long as there was no collusion before they got to heads up,
Right.
my feeling is the appropriate punishment should be that whatever the money was for first and second should be split evenly between them because they still legitimately got to first and second anyway, so that's still their money. The
Right.
bracelet should not be awarded because there was no officially legitimately won bracelet, so there should be no bracelet awarded with the event, and they should probably receive a suspension through the rest of this season and maybe all of next year's WSOP at a minimum. And I think that would be a fair way to handle the situation.
And I agree with you in a lot of those points. And I'm going to just say that I think it was Slay that mentioned about not coming back from a break yesterday. But anyway, I honestly think that for me, after having some time to think about it yesterday, I honestly think that a bracelet should not be awarded, and they should both get second place money, and whatever's left over should be donated to a charity or something. And I say that because if and it's hard to say that there wasn't something fishy going on. Do we want this for every final table now? Are we going to have to worry about something like this if the WPT continues to do these kind of promotions in the future? And I would hope and pray that the WPT or any other operator would never do another promotion like this again, because it really is taking away the thunder of the event and two people that have made it this far into a from a huge field of players. It has taken the attention off that accomplishment and the sanctity of that golden bracelet win in the hopes of getting publicity and trolling the WSOP. And I think the WPT Gold is better than that. I think we
Well,
deserve better. Wait a minute, Fats. I think
you
we
guys,
deserve better from them as players so that we're not put in that position that, hey, I want that $1 million and hey, we can have it together and share it. The players should never be put in that position to begin with, in my opinion. And believe me, I do not think that there was any ill intent or purposefulness about this happening by the WPT. It was just the outcome of a good promotion. And I thought it was a great troll of the WSOP and a great promotion for, you know, attention for the WPT, the free publicity for the WPT. But, overall, for me personally, I think that we have to make sure this never happens again. And so we have to make sure that there is a little bit of a penalty paid for. And I'm not against them, being banned for 6 months or whatever. But there has to be some disciplinary thing here. And again, I always go back to what is the gaming commission's point of view about this situation? We have not heard a word about that and the gaming commission's rules and regs about this type of situation. Are there any even in place that cover this situation? And what do those rules cover the situation? And there's a lot of what ifs. What if they didn't collude? What if they did collude? I mean, there's a lot of what ifs. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Go ahead, ASG.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I don't see how you can just arbitrarily make up rules. Like, you can't say, oh, we're going to give you second place money and we're not going to give you a bracelet. Like, you either got to DQ them or give them their prize money. I don't see any way that they can, like, do any kind of in between stuff based on their rules. Like, because the rules say that you either forfeit prize money or you don't. Like, there's no, like, oh, you get second place money. Like,
Well,
I don't.
but let me ask you this. Um, so if they get second place money instead of first place money, aren't they forfeiting some of the money? Aren't they
No,
forfeiting some of the money
but
by
that's the
doing
point. It's
so?
some of the money. It's not all of the money. You
Yeah,
either
but what?
gotta forfeit the prize money or not forfeit the prize money. You can't forfeit some of the prize money, and
But
then
that.
it's part of the
But
prize
is that
pool.
in
So
the
you can't just
rules? But is that
decide.
in? But is
Yeah,
that in the rules? Does it say to forfeit all of the prize money? Is that the rule? I don't
it
know.
says
I'm asking.
forfeiture of prize money, which
Okay,
is,
so if they only get second place money, they are forfeiting some of the money,
but
which
it
is a
doesn't say
way to get
forfeiture
away.
of some of prize money. It
It
says
doesn't say
forfeiture
all
of
of it
prize.
either, but it
No, it
doesn't
says
say
of
all of it.
prize money. That's all of the money.
Of prize money can mean any portion.
It
No,
could be
that would say of any portion of prize money. Prize money is prize money. It's either
okay.
all or nothing.
Okay, I'm going to beg to differ because what you just read to me leaves the door open. And I'm just going to say to you, I say this because I see that as a way of them getting around not making them forfeit all of the purse. Okay,
Well,
that's where
then
I'm
it's
looking
still
at.
got to go to the players. It can't just go to a charity.
Uh, Listen, it could go into a prize pool for another tournament, like host a free roll tournament or something. Don't get lost in the weeds. Go
No, it
ahead,
shouldn't go. I mean, it
Isaac.
can't
Okay.
go to a free roll tournament. It was prize pool for that tournament.
Well, what happens with forfeited money from a tournament, ASG? What's the
It,
rule on
it
that?
goes to the next players.
Okay,
They move
perfect.
up
Then
everybody in
let them
rank.
have it. Then let them have it. You're missing the point of what my statement was. It's about them not getting that portion. I don't care where it goes, where it goes from there. I mean, I could do a deep dive into that, but it's not worth my time. My point is
And
that
there's
there should be penalty for what took place is my point. And we're
and
going to move
there's
on to Isaac.
definitely none of the on the list here of forfeiture of bracelet. Like, yeah.
Okay, no
The
worries. Go
bracelet
ahead,
could be
Isaac.
considered prize money, though.
Go ahead, Isaac.
I think it's interesting that a lot of big players takes on this is that listen, they game the system and they got away with it. If the system wants to be mad about it, that's one thing. But one thing I noticed is that they kind of say like, why does everybody have such an opinion? Like, why does everybody have the back of these two huge private equity firms and not the back of the players? I found that you know, that's kind of a good thing to bring up. And the one who I see who's been very
Yeah.
very big on this is Scott Seaver. I see Scott Seaver has a lot of opinions regarding this.
Well, and is this we've got to also safeguard for the future. It's the whole picture, right? We got to look at the whole picture, and there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle. And you know, the forfeiture of the prize. What does that mean? It doesn't say partially or the word all. It says forfeiture of the prize. So, I mean, it could be part of it. It could be all of it. We don't know. But I'm saying it could be a way around it where they could still get paid the million from the WPT. Unless the gold bracelet's not awarded, then they don't get that money. And I'm going to tell you, I got it from a very good source last night. They're getting the WPT money, so that's not even up for discussion. So go ahead, Fats.
All right, 2 quick points I want to make. Number one, as far as WPT or anybody offering that type of incentive again, I mean, a company like Pepsi could say, if you buy 100 cases of Pepsi and then win a World Series, we're going to give you $1 million event. We're going to give you $1 million bonus. They could do that. WSAP's got no control over that. So whether it was the WPT or Pepsi, it doesn't really matter. That's out there. Now, with regard to the other point I wanted to make is WSOP doesn't like deal with chops in these tournaments, but the players amongst themselves make all kinds of chop deals when they get late and save money. So them making that kind of a chop deal to agree to split or whatever they're going to do with the extra money or however it ends up is really, there's nothing unethical about that. And these two guys, as I understand it, were lifelong friends. So there likely was going to be some kind of a deal between them to begin with. So they're just kind of put in that situation where there's an extra $500,000 or whatever hanging in the balance for them. And the only thing I think that would be appropriate is no bracelet being awarded. But outside of that, if there was no collusion before heads up, let them, they get half the money between them, and it is what it is.
Okay, I know you weren't with us yesterday, Fats, and I do highly recommend you go back and listen to that episode because I think you're going to hear a lot of other details that you're going to enjoy hearing. But I will say to you that making a deal for a prize purse is definitely something that has happened with the WSOP and other events all over the world. And this is different because in order for the extra $1 million to be given, they had to collude, right? In order to dump chips in order to win that $1 million. That is
Well, they
not the
didn't have
same.
to, though.
That is not
I
the
could have just walked away.
same. But they didn't. That is not the same as me saying, "Hey, Fats, you and I are heads up. I have the chip lead. Let's do this and just be done." And then we just play it out. And we're done, right? Now, this
I
is
agree to
different
differ.
because this is completely different because of several reasons, but one and the most important reason is the chip leader by ninefold has to get rid of his chip stack, and the only way to do that is to dump it.
No,
So
it's
it's
not the only way
different.
to do it, but
But in this case, because they didn't do anything else. In this case,
well, yeah, that's what they
in
did, but
this
that wasn't
case,
the only way to do it.
well, we discussed that, but in this case, that's what they did, and that's what we're talking about. In this case, that's what they did. And that is totally different because there had to be conversations because it was so apparent. There had to be conversations colluding. So that is so different than, hey, let's make a deal for the prize pool. They're totally separate things.
Well, that's why I think they should be suspended. They should have a suspension for the way they handled it. But
100%.
they could have easily gotten to the same result legitimately with either getting penalized out of the tournament or just walking away and not coming back. So they
Right.
could have gotten to that result anyway. But
100%.
the
But they
the
didn't.
right, but because of the way they did it, they should be suspended and there should be no bracelet awarded.
There has to be consequences. There
Right.
has to be
I agree.
consequences. Otherwise, where are we going to go next time? What is it going to be? There's still golden passes out there for a few more tournaments. What is that final table now going to look like? So there has to be consequences so that we can protect our final tables. There has to
Sherry,
be consequences.
did you weigh in on this thing with regard to if you were one of the ones at the table with the 90% of the chips and you had that opportunity? Let's say it was you and Karen at the end there. Did you weigh in on you would have just kept playing it out and
I'm
not?
just going to say to you that right now I would tell you that I'm playing it out. If I'm the chip leader with a 9-1 chip lead, I'm playing it out fair and square. But I'm also going to tell you that I'm not sitting there at that table in that predicament. And maybe my mind would be changed. Maybe my side rail would be like, are you fucking nuts? You better rethink your thinking on this. And I can't tell you that I wouldn't be persuaded to, hey, I'm not coming back from break so she can win this thing so we can split $500,000 each.
It's a big temptation. It's a big temptation.
Absolutely. We're here to make money. We're not here to lose. But going back to your comment about if they shouldn't award the bracelet, I think I'm kind of in agreement with that now. But the WPT gold ticket being awarded holder being awarded the $1 million is if they win the bracelet. So that would definitely affect that WPT payout. Now, WPT Gold could certainly say, well, in this case, we're going to award the $1 million anyway and be the heroes, right? So, it is what it is. Go ahead, ASG.
Yeah. What do you mean by we need to protect our final tables?
I don't want this shit show at all at our final tables. I don't
Why
want
not?
this shit show.
I mean,
It's not good for
whose
poker.
business is it but anybody who's on the final table?
Because it's collusion. And if I'm at a final table, the last thing I want is people colluding.
But how is it collusion if it's heads up?
It's collusion because guess what? We don't know if he dumped chips to him earlier in that final table, do we? Has anybody gone back to watch that? I haven't.
Yeah. Nobody has found any reason to think that there was any deal made prior to heads up.
Has anybody gone back to look to see if the chip leader dumped any chips that seemed, like, oh, why would he do that in that spot?
Yes,
I don't
the
know.
Reddit sleuths would have.
I'm about to
The
watch
Reddit
the whole
sleuths would
stream
have
today.
I'm sorry.
had tons of pictures up if that was the case by now.
Did anybody look at that? I don't know.
Yes, tons of people have looked at that.
I don't know. Who did?
All of the people on Reddit, all of the public who has talked about this since. Nobody has brought forward anything.
Direct me to the Reddit thread that specifically says that people looked at that and found nothing.
No, I'm saying if they found anything, they would have posted it.
Okay,
nothing was found, so nothing was posted.
So you're assuming nothing's been found, but you don't know if people actually looked.
No, I know nothing's been found because nothing's been posted.
Because yesterday, if I remember correctly, Modfather was in here and he said there were things that were suspicious from the start of that final table. And he was modding that final table and felt there was things going on from the very beginning. I'm going to tell you that when I get a chance, I'm going to sit down and look at it myself. And I'm hoping I really hope Doug Polk looks at it or Joey from the beginning to see if there were any hands that you're like, wow, why did he dump chips to him? Or wow, he had never dumped chips to him the entire tournament until they were heads up, which also would prove what? That they waited till heads up to take care of business. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it. Go ahead, Isaac.
Doug Polk has dropped something. I know I saw it on YouTube last night, but I didn't get a chance to watch it.
I watched it.
And then I saw somebody said something about Doug Polk's a douche in some other poker group I'm in. And I'm like, yeah, granted, but I mean, I just want to know if whatever he said was valid.
I fell asleep. I turned it
right?
on and fell asleep with like 30 seconds of it being on, so I've not watched it. Go ahead, Fats.
Yeah, there's a story from in the news ages ago where a guy was driving down the street behind an armored car and it went over a bump and the back doors open and a big pile of money fell out and they didn't know it, and the guy just pulled over, picked it up and ran off with it. I don't know, could have been a couple 100,000 or something like that. Okay. And eventually they tracked the guy down. They figured out who had the money, and the guy's lawyer pleaded temporary insanity. Now, the reason I bring that up is because all things considered, going into that once they finally got into that position, there is that temporary insanity factor that plays into this, whereas they wouldn't normally do something like that, and they're above that, but then all of a sudden this opportunity is just dropped into their lap out of nowhere, and they act on it. And I think all of us would at least think about, wait, hey a minute, there's a $500,000 there. That's a big thing. So I think the plea of temporary insanity mitigates their actions a little bit.
Well, that's one
But
way of looking at it. And, I kind of alluded that to myself if I were put in that position, right? That maybe
exactly.
my rail would convince me otherwise, right? So, listen, I think it all plays into it some way, somehow. Um, I'm going to move it. Karen, are you playing at 10 o'clock? Because if you are, I want to move on for.
Hey there. I'm probably gonna enter. I haven't entered yet because I was doing some video
Okay.
editing. So I'm gonna probably start about 10:30.
Okay, and the reason
Oh,
why I'm bringing that up is I wanted to get onto another subject so that because Karen is part of that subject. So anyway, so we have a
Uh,
little bit longer to continue on this
okay,
subject. If
and I
anybody
also
else
just wanted
has,
to issue a slight correction that the WPT thing, they don't mention the word bracelet or even WSOP on purpose. They just say the event is located in the horseshoe and you need to win one of 11 eligible summer majors to get the bonus.
okay, are you reading that off the golden ticket?
I'm reading that off their website. I could find my golden ticket, but
Okay, and the
yeah,
reason why I'm asking you that is because yesterday, Modfather was reading off of his golden ticket and told us that the bracelet had to be won. So that's where the confusion may be. I don't know. I'm just saying that he did bring that up yesterday.
okay, I'll go find my ticket
Okay.
here, or here's somebody's ticket.
did
It says Gold Rush tickets who win an eligible summer event in Las Vegas are awarded an extra $1,000,000. The $1,000,000 bonus applies to 11 total events, meaning we're giving away up to 11 most. So it's win the event.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate that.
uh, Karen? I have a question for Karen.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
What would you have done in that spot, Karen, with 90% of the chips?
um, I would try to play by the rules as best as I could understand them. I definitely wouldn't collude. I would make sure I was playing by the rules,
But
no
you
matter what.
would you maybe try and see if there was a rule that would allow you to find a way to get enrich?
Yeah, I would look into if it were possible to chop without cheating.
All right, fair.
All right, you guys.
But yeah, I wouldn't be able, I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't want to enter into some grand charade where I'm pretending to play. I'm just not going to be able to
Me
do
neither,
that.
girl. Me neither. I'm not totally against not coming back from break, but I'm just gonna say I'm not that one. I'm just not that
I
one.
like the penalty thing. Just start cursing out Jack Ethel.
Where has
Make
Jack?
say something.
Speaking of Jack,
Maybe
where
say
has he
something a
been?
little bit out of line to the. Say something a little bit out of line to the dealer, like you don't like the way they're shuffling the cards. Then get a warning, and then whatever supervisor warns you, you tell him to go fuck himself, and then you say, "Well, fine. Well, I want to talk to Jack Ethel," and Jack Ethel comes over, and then you tell him to go fuck himself, and that's it. You got nothing.
Well, you just got to make sure that doesn't like DQ you the second place money.
I don't think they can DQ you the money that you've already. If you're already at that level, they can only
Yeah,
eliminate
that's what I'm
you
saying.
where
I'd
you are.
confirm that before I would do it, though. That's all I'm saying.
You guys, those were suggestions. Don't get lost in the weeds, okay? Don't get lost in the
You know,
weeds. Those were suggestions, thoughts,
Yeah,
okay?
I will say I would do what Fats is doing before I would not come back to the table. I think coming back to the table is the worst look of even between what was done. Eject like not coming back to the table is just awful. Like that's a much worse look than putting in some suspicious bets.
What about asking for an ambulance saying you have chest pains, which will eventually end up being maybe gas or something? But they have no access.
Well,
HIPAA
I'm
laws
just going to
protect you
say that
from giving any further explanation on that.
nothing looks worse than collusion at a fine table, in my opinion. But look, Karen Chess, tell us what you played yesterday, and then we're going to move on to another hot topic. Shark attack on the elderly ladies of poker. So, Karen, how'd you do yesterday?
So I didn't cash or bag, but I enjoyed it. I fired one bullet into the Gladiator, played all day until past late reg. But wasn't real close to the money. We still had to lose probably another 300
Got it.
people. I want to say like 600 and something we're going to bag. I can't remember exactly. Or we're going to get in the money, not bag, but we're going to
Right.
get in the money. And I just couldn't quite get there. I just didn't have quite enough chips. But it was a good experience. I'm gonna
That
fire
a
another one
girl. I
today.
love it, love it, love it. Well, it was so funny when I busted the ladies event. My daughter texted me and I was talking with someone, so I didn't text her right back. So then she tried to call me, and I was like, "Why is she like? What is the emergency here?" So stepped away from that conversation with a friend and called her, and I was like, "What's up?" She's like, "Well, how much is it to rebuy? I'm so upset that you've busted out of that tournament." I said, "Girl, it's $1,000, and even though you can afford it, I'm not going to let you rebuy me into it because." There's some days you just realize the cards are not in your favor, and guess what? A rebuy is just not the way to go today. So, um, but guess what? Today's a new day, Karen. So take that shit down, my friend. You bet.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to move us on to Christina Golins, who I interviewed a couple weeks ago. And we had a great conversation about ladies' events and her opinion on ladies' events. And I guess it sparked her to write an article for poker.org. Maybe they heard that interview and asked her to write an article because she did. And she talked about just that ladies' events. And it's kind of a hot topic because she takes some what I think are cheap shots at the older women in poker, and it's not a good look. And one of the comments she made is that she's never been called the "see you next Tuesday" word. And for those that don't know what it is, ask Karen what that means because she just learned the other day what that means. Um, and that lots of older women in the poker world have called her the "see you next Tuesday" world name. And quite honestly, um, I don't know about you folks, but at a poker table, I've never heard anybody use the "see you next Tuesday" word. And I've certainly at the ladies' events never heard young nor old women use the "see you next Tuesday" word. I know one older lady that uses that word, and I've never played poker with her at a table, but she's the only person in my whole world that uses that word. So for Christina to accuse all elderly women at the poker table of calling her the "see you next Tuesday" word, it's hard for me to buy, and it's insulting to be singled out and discriminated against because of age. It's not a good look. And guess what? If you're complaining about the way people are treating you by treating other people badly, you're the bigger problem. You are the problem. You're just like them because you're doing to others what they did to you. And two wrongs never make a right. So, Karen, I'm going to let you give some comments on that because I know you're passionate about it as well.
Well, her comments, it- I don't buy it. She's a person that likes drama. Christina is, and it was hurtful what she
Very
said. She
hurtful.
said the older, the meaner, basically is what she said.
Here, I'm going to give you a
And
couple examples of, and I'm hoping I'm quoting this correctly. One thing she said is, "I swear, the older they are, the meaner they are. I was appalled by how rude they were and how many times I was called a 'see you next Tuesday.'" Another one was, if I were going to continue having ladies tournaments, we need to do better, and that should start with no name calling and no clicks. Well, now you're calling elderly, you're saying rude things to the elderly, so to speak, the older women in poker. Um, Another thing I would say, go ahead. I'm going to stop. Go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, well, I mean, I challenge her to name one person that's called her the "see you next Tuesday" word. Just don't buy it. Um, I was surprised by the article. I've been surprised at the lack of women that have um, criticized her words, and I think that it just shows some of what she said is accurate. I do agree with her that in the women's I don't in the women's tournaments and in the women players in general, there's a small group of us, and I do agree that it can be quite clicky. And that's the funny thing is she's revealing that she's criticizing the clique that she in fact is in. She's in it, and people are afraid. They're friends with her. They don't want to criticize her bullshit comments, and that's what I'm seeing. Where's Jamie Kerstetter? Where are some of these other women that are pro women, and they're just going to let her say this stuff just because they're not old?
Well, and I have to applaud Jennifer, Jen Shahadi.
Shahadi.
Shahadi came out and said that she's not going to comment because she didn't appreciate the comments against the older women of poker, and so I do applaud. I'm sorry, lose my train of thought. I'm a little tired. I do applaud Jen Shahadi for making those comments as well.
Yeah, and Jen's always a class act. Schwan very nicely critiqued it too. So those were the only two high profile women that I saw. And actually Katie Stone made a
Yep.
comment. So there were a few, but I'm saying most people just ignored the article. And I think in my view, it's because they are all this big clique of women, and they're just gonna let it go because they're friends with her. But her comments are not true, and it's bullshit.
Well, and I appreciate your comments on the subject. And, if for those that have not been around for the last 2 years, I've been doing this in spaces. I'm going to tell you, since day one, I have said that women in poker are bitches. And guess what? The good news is they're not the majority. And yeah, do they ruin it for others? Yeah, sometimes they do, and it's a shame. And some of those names are big profile names. I'm not talking about Christina. I'm just saying in general. Are big profile names that you're like, why does she, why is this happening? Because she's a bitch to everyone at the poker table. And yet on social media, people are lifting her up, knowing that this person is a terrible person. I'm saying in general, there are women like that. And thankfully, they're not the majority. And thankfully, the ladies' events 95% of the time are amazing. I 100% support ladies' events. I think we need them. There's lots of reasons why. You don't have to agree with the reasons. You don't have to like that there are ladies' events, but guess what? Stay away from them then. They're not for you, and it's okay. I've told you myself, I've had a horrible experience at a ladies' event. That for a long time I wouldn't play at another ladies' event. But since I went back and played ladies' events and I played some in Vegas when you have people coming from all over the world to play, it's a different concept that is needed in the world of poker. Whether you agree with it or not, it's okay. But let it be. It doesn't affect you unless you let it affect you. Like, what's the harm in ladies' events? There is none. It's a positive. It is a positive. And, you know, in my eyes, you can't call out something if you're doing the same thing. And so, yes, you have some valid points, Baby Shark. 100% valid points, as I told you in our interview. But you can't attack others while you're explaining the fact that you've been attacked and you didn't like it and appreciate it. Stick with that, because guess what? 1,000% we support that. We don't want anybody attacked. We don't want anybody, a man or female, to feel, attacked or unwanted or treated rudely. But in defense of yourself, you can't attack others, because then you're just like them. So, Dana, did you want to comment?
Can you hear me? I've
Yeah.
been having some technical issues.
Yes, ma'am. Up, Dana,
I
you
don't
there?
know how
Oh, there.
I don't know how old Baby Shark is, but to me, she kind of comes across a little green and maybe young herself. And so, what qualifies as quote unquote older women,
Right.
it groups a lot of us in there. And I agreed with Jennifer Shahadi's take that there's really nothing to say when you're trying to make your point by doing exactly what you're saying everybody else is doing to you. And it's supposed to be a welcoming place. It's not supposed to be a salon experience. I was actually at the salon yesterday, Sherry, getting my hair chopped off. It looks good.
Awesome.
And but we're not there to have a salon experience necessarily unless it's like a charity tournament or a big party tournament, like I call them. But if it's a bracelet event, you're going to see some gnashing of teeth, and you just can't take it personally if you're on the receiving end of it or point fingers to what you perceive as someone being rude to you.
Right.
Maybe they're, you know, it goes for both men and women. You don't know what someone is going through, you know. They're there just to play their game and to win, to try to win.
Well, and we want to be strong females, then act like a strong female. Act like a strong female.
Right.
I've sat down at a table. This was what, 3, 4 years ago? Go to sit down at the final table of a tournament here in Vegas. And this guy comes to sit next to me and he says, "Oh my God, you're so fat." Could you imagine
Oh my
somebody
god.
saying that to you at a table? "Oh my God, you're
No.
so fat." And my response was, "Your mom must be so proud of you."
I love that response.
You gotta have
I
thick,
like
you
to
have to have thick skin.
yeah.
Like, fuck off, dude. I could have said fuck
Yeah.
off, dude, but then I'd be in trouble for cussing, right?
Mhm.
So guess what? Your
Yeah.
mom must be so proud of you. This person is
I'm
nobody in my life. What he says to me or about me is none of my business, and I could give a fuck because I don't know him. Now, if my daughter came up to me and said that to me, I'd be like, okay, thanks. Like it would hurt my feelings, right? Because that's my
right.
kid saying it to me. But a perfect
Yep.
stranger? Who the fuck cares? This is a nobody. And guess what? It's motivating me to take his chips a little bit more now. You got to have thick skin, and some things are just not, you just got to think of the source. Who said that to you? Nobody. This is nobody in my life. I could give a flying fuck this guy said that to me. Should he?
Mm,
No, of course not. But that's a reflection on him, not me. We have to have thick skin. You're going to the poker table. There are assholes
yeah.
at the poker table. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm not saying you should, have a nervous breakdown because, he called you fat. There's perspective.
Yeah. The very last live tournament I played, there was a guy with a lot of the chips in play, and it was a 2-day event and we were super close to making it to day 2, and I got moved to his table. And I hadn't heard anything about him. I'd just come from a friendly, quiet but friendly
Right.
table, with lots of action and respect, and then walked to this table, and this guy literally had a tower of chips in front of him, and he was a loudmouth and talking during action and that kind of thing, and verbally responding when I like min raised him pre-flop when he was on the button, and but he scared me, you
Right.
know, physically, like
Right.
because when like I was eliminated and they were on break, I ran into him outside, and it was just that energy, and it scared me. And these are the things that can chase people off permanently. I don't know if there should be a call for, improving decorum and social atmosphere at the poker table, but like I said, I kind of go there expecting not a social event.
Right. Well, and I'm going to tell you.
So, but that was only one time of maybe, 10 or 15 live tournaments I've ever
Right.
played. Everything else has been online, and thankfully most online platforms don't have chat anymore.
And see, I'm just the opposite. I love the
So,
chat. I want to chat in everything I do. Give me the
yeah.
chat because I'm going to chat you to death until I take your chips. So give me the chat.
Yeah.
But I will say, you know, Christine, Baby Shark is an amazing poker player, goal driven. She's sharp, and I guess we expect more and better. And it's one thing to have a conversation. It's another thing to, shark attacks, quite honestly. And it's not a good look. Like, do better. We all can do better on a daily basis, but let's not attack each other. There's no reason, absolutely no reason. Uh, Isaac, go ahead.
I don't know. I've noticed that a lot of poker players are hella petty,
Yes.
right? And I think that plays into it too. And I mean, like Doyle said, like poker is war. I've been at tables where shit is so cool, and then I've been at tables where there's three or four assholes that just won't shut the fuck up. I can remember the worst ever was I was at a cash table at the bike out here, and this dude on my left just was angry. Either he took a bad beat somewhere or something, but he was just angry at everything. Like he would be straddling for like $20-$30 at a 1-2
Right.
table, just like on a good one. And he ended up saying something to a guy at the table over behind me, and that dude straight told him, "Look, I don't care how you feel right now. If you got a problem, I'll see you outside, and we'll settle that problem."
Oh,
And dude was
Lord,
looking at him like dead in his eyes,
Lordy, Lordy.
right? But the funny thing was is that this dude was so mad, talking shit to everybody, he didn't pay attention, and I got aces, and I got rid of him. And this dude left so mad, and I was laughing the whole
Yep.
time because I'm like, hey, that's cool. If you're gonna tilt yourself to giving your stack to me, that's fine. But
Yep.
you, you got to be patient. You definitely got to be patient because there's too
I
many
mean, it
assholes, or
just
especially like,
motivates me when somebody's an idiot at the table. It just I'm like, okay, I'm on that. I'm like, radar is attached to that stack now.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And another place where I remember I ran into a bunch of assholes too was the Orleans and the cash tables. I remember me and my buddies, we walked in, and I love the Orleans, right? But man, people are fucking
We're
brutal in
not going to
there.
call that the casinos. Come on, you guys. It's not their
No, no,
fault
no.
that the people are assholes.
I love the Orleans. It's not their fault. It's the Rex. It's the Rex
I
at the end of the
agree.
day,
I get
right?
it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
and
just
and the
want
Rex are
people
crazy.
to realize it's not the casino's fault. But I will tell you, if the casino in general does not keep the Rex or the regulars in check, let them get away with stuff, it becomes a bigger beast. And when you have visitors to your poker room, it's very evident who's running the room, running that room, and it's typically not the operators, it's the regulars if they get out of control, because you let them bend the rules until they bend them so much that when a newcomer comes, you're like, what the hell's going on in this room? Like, there's so many rules not being followed, and this one can do this and that one cannot do that. And you got to be really keeping the regulars in check for sure. Go ahead, ASG.
Yeah, obviously I have not played in any of these events, but just to give some slight equal time, it does seem like a lot of replies agree with Baby Shark that the younger players get a lot of mistreatment, especially from the older players. And I'll just read this tweet from Casey from Poker Mama. It says, which was a reply to Juan's post, and says, I have a lot of respect for your perspective, end of Jen, referring to Jen Shahadi that you mentioned earlier. Also, I was playing the same ladies event with Baby Shark recently, and without ever speaking to her, shared the same experience and had shared as much in my group chat. I tend to play these events tight and excited for the experience. Unfortunately, I run into a lot of the same very mean to the point of feeling hateful older women. I also think Christina was trying to be silly and lighthearted, and I just happen to agree based on my experiences. It feels bad to be treated so poorly amongst a group of elders in the game that you want to enjoy.
Okay, can you read Sean's tweet, please?
That is harder because she posted a screenshot and it's harder for me to uh, zoom in here. I'll try to. It says, not sure what Christina's sample size is, but if you walk into the room expecting to be bullied and have a bad time, you will experience the thing with that lens. It also sounds like she was treating it in a cutthroat way because she is looking to extract max EV and exploit some of these inexperienced novices. Her opponents can probably sense that and react accordingly. In general, if you treat people energetically with respect and dignity, perhaps these older women who may not necessarily be exceptional players but have life experience and wisdom to offer, she will probably have a much better time. I'm not saying everyone should be more care bear in the event. I like to remind everyone, including myself, that the goal of the tournament is to accumulate all of the chips. See my tweet from previous year below. But a lot of these players scrounged up the courage to play, and $1,000 to pay in a tournament within themselves know they are probably a 200 ABI player, partially to contribute to the segment of poker economy and be happy cheering for someone who looks like them, particularly because they think they can win, and partially for the party experience. Admittedly, some of my more extreme experiences have been in the ladies' events. I've butted heads hard with Camille, Poker Bunny, Ronit, and even slightly with Christina, to name a few. Tensions can be higher amongst a bunch of alpha females proving themselves, and it was almost always happens when you are uncertain of your opponent's motivations and how they perceive you. Almost always afterwards, I reflect and appreciate the competition and fight they bring to the table, because I still, sorry, I'm having trouble reading stuff.
That's okay.
It's still novel and exciting to see women try so hard to win, even if they are over adjusting aggression. My point is that it's not that serious. If you have some entitlement tilt in the event because you think you are a much better player or that you are special than everyone else, that is a separate issue. But if you treat your opponents with respect and appreciate how cool that this many women with you shared love of the game came together to play, it will be really easy to have a good time.
Thank you for reading that. And I think Christina is getting exactly what she wanted: attention from this article and clicks. And so here we are 2 days or 3 days after it was released, still talking about it. And I wanted to talk about it yesterday, but we got too off the beaten track on the Millie Maker and I had to get to tournament. So anyway, but here we are. So go ahead, Karen.
Well, and I just wanted to point out that one of the things that Schwan said is if you go with certain expectations, those expectations might be met. And Christina's the same one that posted a couple of years ago that video. And I'm not saying that that she's wrong, but it just kind of came from nowhere where she's like, guys, we're not here for your personal enjoyment. We don't like these comments. It was, she likes, I don't know the right way to describe it, but getting attention for being treated bad.
Well, and she's a content creator, right? And so, that time she was talking about the men. This time she's talking about the older poker players. It is what it is. So we're going to move on because we have lots of other things to discuss. And we're already an hour in, and I have to do an interview today at 1 that I have to prepare for. So we're going to move on to something. The other day, Exec Deck asked about like the cash games around Vegas. And so I looked them up on Poker Atlas, and hopefully that information is, we're going to hope that it's pretty accurate. So I'm going to post in the chat a list that I made the other day of the rake. No, not the rake. What you're earning as far as comps are concerned when you're playing poker in a poker room. And let me find it. Sorry. Where is my screenshot at?
I'm not
Hello.
while you're looking for that. I'm not sure if it's on there, but you kind of for at the WSOP, you kind of have to like check with the floor and see how many hours you've played for them to give you a card, because it's not doesn't directly charge to, unless maybe they changed it, at least that was, I think, the case last year.
All right. I'm going to have to open my computer to find this now because I'm a little lackadaisical this morning. I'm just telling you right now, people. I am. Oh gosh, I am on the struggle bus this morning, and I'm trying to find this list. And of course, let's see. I think I emailed it to myself. I think that.
Somebody up late doing slots.
Well, Karen, the DGen, had me out late doing slots. I'm going to blame you. Okay. So, when you're playing cash at a casino, you are earning seat time, right? And so they pay you comps. So, I made a list because Exec Deck was talking about playing cash in Vegas and had some questions. So, um, these are the comps per hour that you earn when you're playing at these particular casinos. So, in ABC order, the Aria, you're earning $2 an hour. The Bellagio, $2 an hour. Caesars, $2 an hour. The Golden Nugget, $2 an hour. The Horseshoe, $1 an hour. Mandalay Bay, $2 an hour. MGM, $1 an hour. Planet Hollywood, $1 an hour. Resorts World, $1.50 an hour. Santa Fe Station, $1 an hour. South Point, $1.50 an hour. The Venetian, $2 an hour. Westgate, $2 an hour. The Wynn, $1.50 an hour. And yes, my voice did change when I said the Horseshoe because I was so surprised it was only $1 an hour at the Horseshoe. What? Come on. So you're playing cash. That's the comps you're earning. Now, another thing I looked up for Exec Deck, per my promise that I would, is he was wondering about high hands and promotions that some of the rooms run. So I quickly went through. So if I've missed some casino, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But I quickly went through the app and pulled up each of the casinos' cash games on Poker Atlas. And so, again, I don't know how up to date it is, but here we go. At the Venetian, $500 awarded to anyone who flops quads or a straight flush. There's rules to it, of course. $250 awarded to anyone who turns or rivers quads or a straight flush. And then their bad beat barrel promotion. Lose with aces full of kings, and you will select a bad beat barrel cash envelope. The envelopes range from $250 to $5,000 in cash. That's over at the Venetian. At Resorts World, their June promotion is make quad sixes and win $500 on the flop, $250 on a turn, $100 on the river. Over at Westgate, they have promos. Their promos are quads $100, straight flush $200, royal flush $400. Both whole cards have to play. Also play 30 hours of a live game and get $200. So that's good to know about Westgate. Over at well, this doesn't have the casino on it. Oh wait, I think this is MGM Grand. They have $100 Grand Mystery Shootout beginning Monday, March 24th at 7 a.m. The top 81 hours earners during that period will be eligible for over $116,000 in cash and prizes, including seats into the 2025 Summer Poker Festival main event. And they have a whole thing listed on, and that's on poker.org. You can look up all their mystery envelopes and their poker progressives. That's at MGM. They also, I'm sorry, I'm just scrolling through screenshots, so forgive me. Over at South Point, of course, they had their $500,000 summer free roll. Then they do have multiplier mystery hands, make quads or better, and I'm sorry, in Hold'em or flop it in Omaha and take your chance at drawing a excuse me, combination envelopes that could pay you up to $12,500 for your high hand. There will be 25 envelopes in that contain a multiplier between 1.5x and 5x. So that's over at South Point. They also have Regal Royals at South Point. Royal flushes now pay even more. King Queen is preferred hand to make your royal flush. For it pays you $2,500. So check out their site to get all their, and they do have a bad beat. Bad beat $590 to the losers. On a bad beat, they do have high hands, instant payouts of $100 for quads, $200 for straight flushes. That's over at South Point. Again, check all the websites. Over at Skyline Casino, which I've never heard of in my entire life, but they were listed on poker.org, and they have bad beat jackpot and progressive quads jackpots, but that's all they wrote. They don't give any details. Who else am I missing here? Red Rocks. Red Rocks has set floppers, rolling quads, quad floppers, triple play, road to 5K quads, 24 times 7 any street payouts. They have lots of promos over at Red Rocks. So I hope that helps you out, Exec Deck. I know you were curious about that kind of stuff for cash poker. So just wanted to go over some of those things for him. Since he asked a question, I thought others may be interested in that as well. I see Sean has requested maybe he can give us some more ideas about that as well. Hey, Sean.
Good morning. Don't let me stop you. Keep going. I'll have something at the end or whenever I have time.
Actually, that was the end of it. That was the end of it. I was trying to give everybody a flavor, and fastest way to look it up is on Poker Atlas, and I would think that it's probably most recently updated because I think it's easier for operators to update Poker Atlas than their website. So, but you can find the promos that they run under cash games under their casino name on Poker Atlas. So there you go. Go ahead, Sean. Welcome.
Thank you. I wanted to clarify one, and this is why it's important for operators to come on Spaces and to update Poker Atlas. Now,
Yes.
you just told me that I have to update something. All MGM Resort properties in Las Vegas, including MGM Grand, are a minimum of $2 an hour in comps.
Oh,
That includes MGM Grand, and MGM Grand is actually running a special promotion right now for 2-3 no limit, and above it is $3 in comps.
nice. See there, you guys? Getting updated information right away. I love it. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that for sure. We love earning those comps, you know. I was trying to teach Karen some not slot pool, slot play techniques last night, and we did pretty well. Go ahead, Real Facts.
Skyline Casino out on Boulder Highway, up past the other Arizona Charlie's, way on the
By the
uh,
border, maybe?
far side of town. It's yeah, you've got to get up past. I think it's around like at least I think it might even be just past Samstown. Um,
Oh, okay.
but that's where the Skyline Casino is, and
Okay.
in my day I was in there once or twice for if I was out that way for a reason or looking for something. So yeah, Skyline Casino. That's the first time I heard of that in a long time.
Yeah, I
So
was like, where the hell's. I never even heard of it, I don't think, or if I did, I didn't remember it. But anyway,
it's
thank
up
you.
past Samstown on Boulder
I
Highway.
appreciate that. So, a little shout out to Skyline Casino. Also, South Point, 10 o'clock is his $360 Ladies National Championship. 30K starting stack, 30-minute blinds, folks. Isaac, do you want to give us a casino history? Oh, he may have had to step off for a minute. Isaac, are you there, buddy? We'll come back to him. No problem. All right. ASG, anything else you want to bring up, bud?
Trying to see what else I had here. I'm leaning no, but the rake on the women's event.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Jared Smith brought up an interesting point
Yep.
that if you are a man who enters the women's event, even though if you're a woman you pay $84 in rake, uh, they don't just keep it the same $84 in rake for the 10K buy-in. You now pay $490 in rake if you pay the 10K buy-in. I think this is all in theory. I don't think anybody's really done it, but
Well,
just saying.
I thought he posted a screenshot of
Yeah,
the.
no, I'm saying in terms of I don't
Oh,
know if anybody's actually bought in as a man when they changed it to 10K, 1K.
actually, I think there was a guy 2 or 3 years ago that did.
Okay.
That was doing it for charity. I want to say it was the main. I want to say it was the WSOP Ladies Event, but it certainly could have been one around town somewhere. But for some reason, I think it was the WSOP Ladies Event, and he did it because he was going to do it for charity, if my memory serves me correctly. But anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
But the point being, like, your player is still a player. There's no like reason why, like they make it 10,000 versus 1,000 to discourage men from playing. There's no reason why they should get more of a piece if a man enters than if it was a woman.
Well, it's all percentages, right? So whatever the percentage is that the ladies are being charged, the men are being charged the same percentage. I would imagine the same rate.
Somebody said it's 8.4% on the 1K and 4.9% on the 10K.
Okay, so less. Okay.
Yeah, so it isn't the full eight whatever, but it is more in dollars for
Right.
sure.
Right. And I honestly, I don't have a problem with that. The rate, whatever. I have no problem. And I would imagine that whatever percent is what they charge on all 10K buy-ins is what I would imagine. Don't you think?
Maybe I don't know it, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird to say that rakes up. it's just weird to me for a person in this tournament. Like when it comes to overhead staff fees dealing, like you would think that a person's a person, but yet they charge based on percentage. I don't know. It is what it is.
Okay, it is what it is. We'll go with that. I just want to get a couple of things out of the way because, of course, yesterday I was dashing out the door, and so we didn't really go over a lot of the WSOP winners and stuff. So, event number 62, the winner was, and I'm going to spell it Andjelko, and I believe it's Anna Dervich. It took home $885,000 for that event 62, which was the 5K six-handed event. And Andrea Delmas took home second place in 570K. That's a lot of money. What a great turnout for that event. Okay, over in event number 65, which was the tag team event, the winners were Kevin Kerber and Peter Patricio. Each took home $92,000 for that 1K tag team event. What a nice prize pool. Event number 66 is the 50K Poker Players Championship. Of course, the Chip Reese trophy is brand new this year as far as a remake of it because the other one broke. So that's up for grabs. There is $4.2 million in the prize pool, and our leaders today of this tournament, 17 are left out of 107 players. Andrew Yee is in first place with 7.9 million. Albert, I think it's Daher, is in second place with 5.2 million. The Grinder is in third with 3.6 million. And I have to give a little shout out to Esther Taylor is in fifth with 2.2 million. I'm sorry, with 2 million in chips. And in fourth place, Team Spacers, Ben Lamb has 2.3 million. Of course, we're rooting on his victory today for if no other reason that we like him, of course, but he is on our fantasy team and we need the points to stay in the top 100 of that league. And a shout out to other notables, the Mouth and the Frog Licking Lover, Bryn Kinney are still in that tournament to win it. So that's what's going on in that 50K Poker Players Championship. You guys, I feel so out of sorts today, honestly. Okay, event number 68 was the 3K no limit tournament. 6.4 million in the prize pool. There were 2,338 runners. There are 127 left going into today. And Hamid, and I'm going to spell his last name Tohyan, has 2.5 million in chips and is our chip leader. And Ian Kirkovich, I believe, Kirkowitz, maybe, has 2.1 million in chips. And friend of the space, Preston McEwen, is in 30th place with 990K. And another Team Spacers member, Stephen Song, has 900,000 and is in 38th place as far as chip stacks are concerned. Event number 67 was day 1B of the Gladiator. There were 4,598 runners, 147 moved on to day 2, which will be this weekend. And we didn't get to day 1 results yesterday. There were 3,614 runners, 119 moving on to day 2 in that Gladiator. Day 1 of event number 69 was on Wednesday, so that means day 2 was yesterday. Going into today, there are 11 left out of 615 runners in that $1,500 7-card stud high-low 8 or better event. There is 153,000 waiting for the first place winner. The chip leader today is Jay Kerbel, who has 3.5 million, and Blaz Zerviv, Zerjav has 2.5 million in chips. So good luck to those folks. Day 3 was yesterday of event number 64, the 1K Super Seniors. Today they're going back with 9 runners left out of 3,338. The chip leader from the Gulf Coast and a husband of a friend of mine, Lonnie Witzel, is in first place with 14 million in chips, 14.7 million, and Martin Kohler has 14.5 million. So it's a close race to first, 9 runners left. So good luck to those folks. Over in the ladies event, event number 70, a 1K event, there is 1.2 million in the prize pool, 1,368 runners, 317 are left going into today. There is $184,000 waiting for the winner. Min cash is 2K in that tournament. Our chip leader is Victoria Lifshitz, who has 875,000. Dorothy Escar, I'm going to spell it ECALDRE, has 297,000. Some other notables in the field still in it to win it would be ring winners Susan Faber, Nancy Birnbaum, a friend of mine, JJ Liu, Naomi Pizzol, and Diane Cooley, all friends of mine. I'm just bragging. I'm lucky to have so many amazing friends in the poker world. And I'm going to tell you, there's nothing more fun than walking into that room and all the ladies are just so excited to be there. And it's just an electric, that ladies event. I hope I never have to miss it because it's just an electric atmosphere. I had such a fun table. I was sitting next to Naomi and we were just having fun. And Natalie was at our table too. And then we met some new friends and love the ladies events. And I can't wait to play another one. I don't think I'll be playing another one here this time. I really haven't looked at the schedule the rest of the way, but we'll see. Okay, moving on. Shut up, Sherry. Move on. Event number 71 is the 10K limit deuce to 7 low ball triple draw. And going into today, the chip leader is Jonathan Shorman, 360K, and Oscar Johansson has 336,000 going into today. There are 50 left out of 122, and there is 1.1 million in the prize pool, and the prizes were not listed out when I checked right before we went on air, just an FYI. So that's what's taken place around the WSOP. Sorry it took me so long, you guys. I'm a little bit out of sorts this morning. It's just not coming easy. Isaac, are you there? He may be working, so I just like to shout him out every once in a while until he can get back with us. Okay, let me go over the schedule today. At the WSOP, of course, at 10 a.m., the Gladiator starts $300 buy-in. 11 is the final day of the 1K Super Seniors. 12 p.m. is day 3 of the event 68, the 3K No Limit Tournament. 12 p.m. is also the start of day 1 of event 72, the 10K Super Turbo Bounty. 8-handed at 12 p.m. is day 2 of event 70, the ladies 1K. 1 p.m. is event 71, the 10K deuce to 7 low ball triple draw. 1 p.m. also is the final day of event 69, the $1,500 7-card stud. 1 p.m. is day 4, event 66, the 50K Poker Players Championship. And at 2 p.m. is day 1, event 73, the $1,500 8-game mixed event. So that's what's going on at the WSOP. Go ahead. Who's coming up? Go ahead. Who took their mic off?
That was Fats, but then he got a call from
Oh,
his
they
daughter.
got a call. Oh, I love it. Okay. I'm just trying to go over my notes really quickly here. Some good news is I have been offered to use a studio here in Vegas. So this afternoon, I'm going to do an on-camera interview of Sarah O'Connor. So it's going to be fun to get a little practice in front of the camera. It's been a while since I've done something like that. So today I'm going to interview Sarah O'Connor, and then I have another interview on Monday, and I have one in between then and now that I'll probably be able to talk about tomorrow once I get it set in stone. So I'm excited about that. A little practice never hurt anybody, and that's kind of what I look at this as, and hopefully promote some folks and maybe get them a video that they can use to promote what they're doing in life. So anyway, here we are. Looking forward to doing that. I got to get my shit together for that, make some notes. I'm going to go around the horn, see if anybody has anything they'd like to bring up or discuss. And Dana, I'm going to start with you.
Thank you. I hope you all have a great day. Sherry, that's wonderful news about the studio. That's pretty damn cool. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was a little surprised when the offer came my way, and I was like, hell yes, I will find people to interview.
How'd it come to be?
I'd just rather not talk about that, but I will just
Oh,
say
okay.
I was chatting with someone, and they were like, hey, would you like to use this studio? We're going to offer a lot of people to use the studio. I was like, yes.
That's awesome.
So we'll give it a try. And like I said, hopefully make some promos that some folks can use to promote some of the stuff they're working on, and I get to practice. So it's a win-win for everybody. Anything you'd like to bring up, Miss Dana? Before I'm
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Karen, I think she's went down to listener. She may be on her way to play that tournament. Yeah, she is. Okay, good luck to Karen. Real fast, anything you like to bring up? He may still be on his phone. And bless his little heart, he might be disappointed that by the time he's done with that phone call, this space may no longer be. ASG.
I found my mic button.
There you go. Anything you'd like to bring up?
No, I just was working on a couple of tweets, but and so I didn't have the mic page up front.
No worries.
But no, good job. Good luck with your show and your TV broadcast there. And will we be seeing that on CNN or the one of the regular four big networks?
Well, no, sir, but thank you for those thoughts. Actually, the promise is that they're going to provide me with the video, so I'll just put it up on my YouTube channel, and then probably just tweet about it or whatever, Or if it turns out horrible, the whatever will be, oh, the tape got lost in the mail. But thanks for asking.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really excited about it. It's just another venture. Honestly, it's just another adventure.
And even though she's no longer connected here, shout out to Karen. Good luck today.
Right on. Go get him, Karen. I'll have to go down and check on her later. Okay.
I hope she remembered to call somebody to feed PPE, though.
I don't know who that's going to be because I think the dogs are being boarded. Oh, maybe her son's home. I think her son's home from college, so maybe he's doing it. But I was going to say her husband's here, and I think the dogs are being boarded. But now that I think about it, her son may be home. So PPA is in luck. How fun would it have been?
This whole time, I thought PPE was her husband for this whole time.
We got to make sure we tell her that next time she's in this space.
Yeah, you're a little behind. You should have asked me the night we were hosting the mug game. I could have given you all the details on that.
That shit's hilarious. Oh my God, that's so funny.
She's basically, like how a serial killer will take a person and they'll just kidnap them and they'll lock them in their basement. That's basically what she did with.
And it all started because she was like the last person to see him in person. I think it's like how it all started out. And back in December 2023. And so then it snowballed into she's got him locked in the basement. So, all right, I'm getting a message. I'm losing connection. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so we better go quick before I end up losing
I
connections.
can still hear you.
Okay, you're not letting me go quick. You're not letting me go quick. ASG, you have anything left to speak about or bring up or whatever?
Yeah, if anybody's got some extra time or just likes playing something in the background, check out the Players Championship coverage yesterday. Blesnik is always great on the commentary, and he gives some opinions that others might be afraid to do.
Nice, 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 nice. Love that. Isaac, I'm going to try a third time, but you may not be there. You may be on a call, brother. So, giving you a last chance, Isaac. We may have just lost him as well, but anyway, I want to give him a chance. So, there you go, Isaac. Sorry, buddy. Hope everybody has a great day. We'll be back at it again tomorrow morning, and yeah, hopefully I'll have some good news about an interview I'm going to do either tomorrow or Sunday. I also have an anniversary party, a 50th anniversary party to go to tomorrow. Can you believe it? My friends that live here that I've have been friends with for over 30 years that moved here from Georgia. It's their 50th wedding anniversary party tomorrow. So I'm going to do that tomorrow evening. I don't even know what time it starts. I think 4 or 5. But anyway, we have lots to get done before that, including our morning show tomorrow. So appreciate all of you that joined us and, make it a good day. If you're on the felt, good luck. If not, touch that grass, people. Much love. And thank you so much for joining us.